Talk 6. The Spirit of the Father who raised me from the dead dwells within you. Perhaps you do not realize the importance of these words, but it is the same Spirit, and there is no division in Spirit. The one Spirit manifesting in the many, and that many in the one. It was this mighty power that I saw completely in my own life, and by recognition of it, so was I able to use the power of the Spirit of God the Father who dwelt within me. The Spirit of the Father who raised me from the dead is within you also. When your mortal sense would indicate disorder, pain, and death, remember the Spirit of the Father which remaineth within you. Call it in manifestation by the word of power, I am. Have you fully realized the meaning of the word I am? You cannot speak the word I am in reality unless you know the meaning of it. And when you know the meaning of the word I am, you have learned the word of power. I am the life. I am living because his life liveth in me. Life is God, and God is life. Therefore my spirit will quicken your mortal flesh, and the Satan of the senses shall be under your feet. It has always been the Satan of the senses that has blinded you to the real truth of the immanent power of the Spirit that dwells within. The senses reveal to you things from without, but the Spirit of God reveals the truth from within, and not having this truth you are powerless. The mortal sense sees only things from without, and that which it sees it does not know. It reasons from the intellect only. It is not inspired, because inspiration must come from the Spirit within. The Father that dwells within you reveals himself through your consciousness, because your consciousness is the means through which you express the Father. Be aware in your own consciousness of the great secret of power I am. Speak the word of power I am, then your consciousness will realize the tremendous force that is behind it. The universe is not divided, it is one whole. Fill the holy temple every day with strong, assertive vibrations of the Christ life, lifting the atmosphere beyond the mortal senses. Your growth into truth is so simple, so natural, for the Father is working in your midst and cannot fail. You do not live alone. You think that you live by yourself, but that is an illusion of the senses. There is no division in life. There is no separation between any one of us. There is at the root the one life, flowing from the one source, the one Spirit manifesting itself in all. If the consciousness in you was in any way separate from the infinite consciousness, then the infinite could not be infinite. If you, a living being upon earth, were separate from God, then God could not be infinite. Now you see clearly that you cannot live alone, and that there is no separation anywhere. In the realization of this truth, the symbol used for this pliable substance that fills the whole universe was known as water. But in your days other words have been used for the expression of the same thing, such as electronic substance or ether or space. Although you are aware of many scientific developments that take place on the earth plane, yet you will realize that it is only through knowledge of the spiritual that you arrive at the secrets of the universe. If scientists would open their mind fully to the inspiration that comes from the Spirit, great and mighty things could be revealed to them. The day is coming when this will be so, when the world will be better understood in its relationship to the universe as a whole, showing distinctly that the world you live in is in the whole universe. A portion of the electronic substance that makes up all the universe is molded into form, but still exists in the one substance and can never be separated from it. Thus within dwells the mighty power, the Spirit of God, the Christ that creates. This is the life in man. I am Spirit, the Christ of God, the Word that was in the beginning. Beware of those who cause divisions contrary to the doctrine which I have taught you. There never has been any division but only in the mind of man, and this division is born of ignorance. Later, when you function only from the consciousness of the Spirit, your bodies will be finer and its obedience will be immediate. If you could but realize the importance of these words, that you are spirit now, you do not have to wait till you leave the body to become spiritual beings. You are already spiritual beings, and you were so from the beginning. And if when you call upon the Christ power and realize the source whence you come, you will bring into operation a power that is beyond the mortal sense. All is known to the Christ, but all is not revealed to the consciousness in man until such a time as man unfolds, and then the Spirit within shall reveal its glory, its power, its essence, its love, its peace. Only through the quietude of the mind does the truth unfold itself. If you then, being in the mortal sense, become positively spiritual, you could assert now your dominion over all things, thus refusing to recognize the suggestions that come from the senses. It was this that I saw so clearly. I spoke from the Spirit, thereby infusing life into everything. If you can think with me and feel with me, then you will realize what I mean. When you see clearly that the life, the only living presence, is God Himself, the Almighty in your midst, and when you realize this, your consciousness becomes aware of the power within. The consciousness is the means through which the Spirit manifests itself on all planes. When your consciousness becomes aware of life, life, being the servant of all, shall manifest according to your awareness of it. Your consciousness unfolds through the realization of the power of the Spirit. The consciousness then reveals and expresses that which the consciousness is aware of. Feel then in your heart the power of the Spirit. Feel and recognize in your own consciousness the Christ power that has been given dominion over all things. All power has been given unto me in heaven and earth. In this way the Christ shall also reign in you, for the Christ is the only begotten Son of the Father, who rests upon the Father's breast. He is the King in all kingdoms, and has victory in heaven and on earth. Not even a sparrow will fall unto the ground without the Father's will. Therefore fear not, for I am with you always. How beautiful is this truth when you recognize it! Not a part of your body can be affected unless there is a change that takes place in the mind. Everything exists in the mind of God, and nothing can exist outside of it. Unless you are born again, this time of spirit and water, you can never enter into the kingdom of the creative power of the Christ. Everything has been delivered to me by my Father, and no one knoweth the Father but by the Son. So come unto me, all who are tired, all who carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. This is true, for I am He who shall carry your burden. If you will but cast that burden upon me, I will lift it from you, and you shall be free. The Christ has been given power in heaven and on earth. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all things shall be added unto you. Seek ye the kingdom of the Spirit and the right use of it, and it shall be added unto you. Your rest is sure. Your strength will be fortified by the presence of the Lord thy God. Learn, therefore, from me, for I am quiet in my heart and strong in my knowing. You will find me a rest to your soul, for your heart is not troubled when you are strong in your knowing of me. Your heart is at peace, full of compassion and love, when you are strong in Christ. Then know the Father as I know Him. I have personified Him, all His love, all His glory, His compassion, His wisdom, and His power. This knowing in my consciousness reveals the truth to all men. Everything has been told to me by my Father, and no one knoweth the Son except the Father. Nor does anyone know the Father except the Son. Then come unto me, and I will give you rest. My yoke is very pleasant, and my burden is light. Think with me in your quiet hours, for I am with you always. Take time off from your daily tasks, and go into the quietness and think with me. I am always with you. You shall feel my presence expressing itself through you. You will rise comforted, joyful, and filled with the presence of the eternal Christ. Now that you have learned to say, I am Spirit, know that Spirit alone creates. It is the Spirit within you that creates everything. Great is the mighty mind of God as I know it, yet the senses do not reveal this to you. That which is unseen is more real than that which you see, and from the unseen everything you see has come. The Spirit, the unseen, is the animating power and brings all form into being. Spirit makes things by becoming the things it makes. Spirit is complete in itself. Spirit is all, and all is Spirit. One part of the Spirit cannot be separated from another. The Spirit manifesting is not separated from Spirit unmanifest. The life in you is in no way separated from the life of God. This race is in its childhood in regard to this knowledge, yet many are beginning to feel the urge of the one life I am. These words of mine are for the purpose of unfolding the real behind the shadow, and what I feel you shall also feel as you listen to me. Thus you will learn of me. Study these words until you feel the knowing. There is what we call telepathic communication from one mind to another, or from one consciousness to another. There is a direct line of communication, just as you have in your world when you take up the instrument you use to hear one person speaking to another from a distance. It is the same here. As above, so below. There is a telepathic communication from one mind to another. The mind that is trained for the work will express the thoughts that I give. You will notice that the consciousness of the brother is raised above the mortal sense, raised above the physical sense to the consciousness of the inner realm. His consciousness is linked up with this consciousness and then transferred back into the body, using the brain and body as a sounding board. While this process is going on, he knows everything that is taking place. But when transmission by my overshadowing ceases, he knows nothing of what has taken place until such time as he hears it again over the recorder, which has been placed at the back of the structure behind him. If the brother would meditate, sit quietly, and enter again into the realm of his own consciousness, he would find all imprinted there, and all I have given can be brought forth again. That is why, after these lectures have been given, he will be a greater instrument than ever before to express the truth. He has been trained in the Himalayas for this purpose, sometimes 7 days and longer in complete meditation, without even food or drink, until such a time as he was capable of receiving the higher vibration. Consequently, we have used him all over the world, and we will use him again in different parts of the world. I am telling you these things because you should know them. One day we will take him away from your sight to our world in the spirit, where he will work again almost amongst you invisibly. We have kept him alive, strong, virile, and will continue to do so while he is on earth. The finest music you could ever hear on earth can only give you some idea of the beauty beheld in the soul of the composer. So it is with you. What I give you enables you to feel something of the beauty that is in store for those who love me. And those who love me love my Father also. For I have personified the Father, so that if you know me, you shall also know my Father, your Father. His love flows out as music in the sphere and is caught up in all souls who open up to it. Everyone is seeking happiness, but no one can find it in the outer. Only through the inner realization can the joyous power of this rhythm be felt. The music, the love, the wisdom of God expresses itself through the soul. Thus you become conscious on it manifesting in your body. That is why I say, my peace and my love I bring with me, and my peace and my love I leave with you. How can I explain that which is beyond your comprehension? Only open yourselves to me, and my thoughts will manifest in you. The Father is ever beyond the highest ideal, and your growth reveals more of him who is the breath of life. Although the mists are deep upon the earth's surface, the light is beginning to pierce its way through. And in your generation, many more are beginning to see and to know the truth. For at present you see dimly through the mist and only know in part, but you shall know even as you are known. The mist of ignorance that I came to pierce 2,000 years ago still remains. There has been little change in the orthodox religions. So many divisions have been created by the different religions, so much strife, but as you now see, there can be no division anywhere. Division is born of ignorance in the mind of man. Can this ignorance then be dissolved away? Yes. The spiritual influences now bearing upon the earth plane are beginning to dissolve this mist of ignorance away, and you, and many more like you, are the means through which all will be dissolved. Your realization of this truth in your silent hour will change the atmosphere with wisdom and love. Your love and peace will help the world. For the Father becomes more lovely as your vision clears, and what the inner eye sees, so does the soul show forth. This calls you onward on a never-ending stream of light to the source from which it comes. And his greatness is never greater than when we see him in his lowliness, where he lifts all to safety through his supreme love. I gave a parable nearly 2,000 years ago. It is called the prodigal son. And if you read that parable again, you will see the depth of the Father's love. No one can ever be separated from the Father, not even his most disobedient child. And that child requires more love than one who is obedient. This fills the soul with adoration for his benign love, for our God is above all gods created in man's mind. For our Father, Mother, God is beyond the greatest conception of which man is capable. But we will see with open minds the glory of our Father, Mother, God, and with this you shall be transformed into the same likeness, from one glory to another, just as the Spirit of the Christ the Son reveals the Father. It is the Christ the Son that recognizes the Father. The Christ is the Spirit in you also. And if you can realize and recognize it, so shall it do for you what it did for me. And if you believe in me, you will do greater things. For I am the Christ, revealing the Father unto you. It was this that my blessed mother saw, and through her vision I was born in the flesh. I am the Word that became flesh. Your mother on earth is near and near to God and to yourselves. Try to imagine what joy her sacrifices for you give. The nearer you get to mother's love, the nearer do you get to the love of the Father who is manifesting in his creation. For in the mother is seen the Father at work in the forming of his image and likeness. Thus I was born in flesh. I am the life. And no one is born in the flesh excepting the Father knoweth. And no one leaves the flesh except the Father also knoweth. Even a sparrow does not fall to the ground except through the will of the Father. Neither are you born into the flesh except through the will of the Father. The Father manifesting creates in the mother the image and likeness of himself. How wonderful it is for you to understand, to know this truth, that you are the image and likeness of himself. How wonderful it is for you to understand, to know this truth, that you are the image and likeness of your Father in heaven, and within you dwells his love and power, his peace, his glory. All you who are here in spirit, I am speaking to you as well. The more you realize this truth, so shall you give expression to my thoughts. Let us come before him with thanksgiving. The depths of earth lie in his hand. The mountain peaks are his. He made the sea and he made the land. Let us worship him in his greatness, bowing before him who made us in his own image and likeness. Oh, would the world listen to my voice today. Praise the Eternal, O families of nations. Praise the Eternal for his glory and compassion. Enter his house with an offering of peace and goodwill to all men, and he will rule the nations justly. Let the skies be glad, let the earth rejoice, let the sea thunder its praise. Let the land give forth its fruit and praise, and the trees of the forest sing for joy. The Eternal is present, and he comes with his Son to rule the earth, to rule the world justly and the nation faithfully. That is the promise, and this promise is being fulfilled. The way is being prepared now. The spirit in man claims its freedom. No longer can it be downtrodden. For the kingdom of heaven is at hand, the kingdom of the inner, the kingdom of the higher consciousness. The will of God in heaven shall be done on earth. What is seen in your midst is but a prelude to the kingdom of heaven on earth. The kingdom of the inner becomes the kingdom of the outer, and all strife shall pass away. The world is like a babe crying in the night with no language, but that cry was answered by the eternal Father. The world has no language. The world has no truth. The mortal sense shall die. The truth of the living God shall be proclaimed. The world is crying out in its ignorance with no language, as a child cries in the night, yet the mother hears the cry of her babe and rushes to help it. So has the Father heard the sound, the cry of his children upon earth. I am not blind to your miseries. I know and understand them. I have passed through them. You are born in ignorance through belief in separation and division. Think for yourself now, and you will see how you can be free. By recognizing that which is utterly false and untrue, you will know that which is true. I have come that ye shall have life, and more abundant life. I have revealed God according to your needs, and the Father is willing to help you according to your needs. Did I not reveal the Father, the hidden spring, abundant and overflowing, the never-ceasing life in all its fullness, that you may also rest in the truth? Then follow in my footsteps, because I know the way. There is no mystery in this. No man has ever seen God, but the firstborn of God, who is in the bosom of the Father. He has declared him. These words mystify those who do not understand them. But as you recognize that the Father himself gives birth to the Son, the Christ, which is the image and likeness of the Father himself, and as the Christ knoweth himself, so he reveals the Father in all his glory, power, wisdom, and love. This is the full, rich, glorious life in you, and should fill your soul and body, for Christ is your life. I did not draw down life from outside of God, for I know that I am the eternal Christ of God that lives in every soul. The meaning of my words can be recognized only from within yourself and not from without. That is why I speak in the way that I do, so that within yourself you will feel the meaning of my words. You cannot explain what I tell you because you can never explain the truth. Some people will ask, well, what did he say? How did he say it? Can you explain the truth? That which can be explained is not the truth. But as you listen to me, so shall you feel the truth, and only unto those who will listen can it be revealed. You shall feel me and know me, for I am the truth. Do not reason with your intellect, for it is limited in its nature and judges from without. The Spirit will reveal all things to you through inspiration. Know that I live in you, and that humanity is God's eternal Son. The sheep know their shepherd's voice. And humanity will say one day, it is finished. And they shall be one, for I shall be in their midst. The Father will glorify himself in his Son, and all humanity will know me. Think what this means, that all humanity will know the love, the wisdom, the compassion, the power of the Christ. The Father will glorify himself, will express himself in the Son. The will of God that is done in heaven will be done on earth. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done as it is in heaven. You are my friends, because everything that I heard from my Father I make known to you. Thus I choose you to go and produce fruit, and that your fruit might remain. And whatever you ask my Father in my name, he will give it to you. Therefore I command you that you love one another. For only in loving one another can I remain in your midst, and where I am, there the Father is also. For I have personified the Father, and the Father is personified in me. You will see me again, and your heart will rejoice, and your joy no man will take away from you. What I have given you will remain with you. I am not alone, because the Father is forever with me. And when you have seen me, you have seen the Father. Can you realize this mighty truth? When you have seen me, you have seen the Father. The Father has created me, and he remains in me, and I remain in him. I could not come into being except the Father were with me. It is the Father who ever remaineth within me. He is speaking for me. Eternal, loving Father, I have made your name known to those whom you gave me out of the world. They were yours, and you gave them to me, and they shall keep thy word. The word of the Christ that dwells within them, because they have heard it, they know it, and now it should dwell in their souls. They know that whatever you have given me is from you, and everything that is mine is yours, and what is yours is mine, and I am glorified by thee. I was unchanged by the experience called death, for life is not divided. There is no division in life, and there is no interruption in life by so-called death. Life is never interrupted, nor is it destroyed or interfered with. It was this that I showed so prominently to my disciples, and this I show to you. Life does not die, and I am is unchanged by the experience of so-called death. So shall the Spirit, the life in you, remain unchanged. For you have been always and cannot die, and as I am, so shall ye be also. For the Spirit of the Father who raised me from the dead dwells within you also. My peace and my love I leave with you. So be it.